Namaste. I'm just starting this and then I'll hand over to Rose. Rose is a graduate of our college. She's also a naturopathic doctor and she is an experienced yoga teacher. So she's going to be teaching a portion of the class. And can everybody see this? Perfect. Perfect. Here we go. So today we are talking about Surya Namaskar. I'm not going to go too much into detail. My aim and objective is just to pronounce the Surya mantra that comes in the beginning. I feel I do a little bit more justice to the Sanskrit, that's all. Otherwise, it's Rose's class. Surya Namaskar means salutations to the sun. And in my opinion, a lot of yoga teacher trainings will talk about the sun salutation or Surya Namaskar as being used for warm up, but I believe it is the most important portion of any yoga class. It is the most important. I would say it is the jewel. If you have a little bead of different gemstones, the biggest bead or the biggest gemstone is the Surya Namaskar. Everything else is leading up to Surya Namaskars or it's leading up to other stretching. The Surya Namaskar is the foundation, it's the base. I have been worshiping Surya or sun since I was 16 or 17 years old. So this is very, very close to me. And like I shared with Rose before, I learned Surya Namaskar when I was 10 years old in 5th grade. And for every Surya Namaskar we did, for every asana, we had to recite the 12 names of Surya, a very, very powerful thing. So Namaskar is the highest salutation with respect, and Surya Namaskar is offering prayers, mantra, asana, prostration to the deity Surya Dev. And what does it do? It ignites and balances Agni, achieves longevity. I mean, moving forward, Rose is going to talk a lot about benefits of Surya Namaskar. I'm really interested in the background, especially the mantras here. And can everybody hear me? Just make sure if any questions or if you can't hear me, just let me know. All right, who is Surya Deva? I found this picture on Wikipedia of Surya, which was really beautiful. He's sitting on a chariot with he's supposed to have 7 horses. Is that 7 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and yeah, they are 7. And he is an aspect of Narayan or Vishnu. So that's why you see the little, you see the different planets behind him, and he is holding a conch shell and he's holding a disc and so on. So in Vedic literature, and those of you who have studied Jyotish or astrology, every planet has a presiding deity. I mean, not just in our universe, but outside the universe. So sun, according to the Jyotish aspect or Vedic literature, astrology, is a planet. It's not a star. And if you look at the latest pictures by a UV camera that has captured sun, it took 6 years to take a picture of sun. And you actually see the planet with those electromagnetic things coming out. It's really beautiful. So 6 years to take one picture of the sun, and it shows it as a round planet, not a gaseous star. But of course, in the sun planet, every being that is living there, all the entities are made of fire, so you can't really distinguish them. So the presiding deity of the sun planet is sun. Would anybody know who the presiding deity for Earth is? Just, out of curiosity. Who's the presiding deity for Earth? I don't know who that is. It is maybe it's the name nature of Mother Nature, Durga, Parvati, wife of Shiva, all one and the same thing. Yeah. So she's the presiding deity. So Parvati, yes, Mother Nature, yeah. So if you go to Nepal, or if you go to Nepal is of course the only Hindu country in the entire world. If you go to Nepal or you go to India, they will worship sun. They will worship sun, and they will worship Surya Dev, who is the presiding deity. Think of him as an archangel. I mean, I really don't have any word for it. And what he's doing is, if you remember the Ritucharya from Block 1, You know how there is the northern solstice and the southern solstice. This is all as so what Surya is doing, he is going 6 months in one direction, not far from the sun, and then 6 months in the other. And his force pulls, um, provides gravity to different planets, and he is the one providing that gravity, which is why the Earth is rotating and all the other planets are going around the sun. So he's such a powerful deva. He's not ordinary. Now Surya has a reddish complexion, and he has incredible amount of tejas. I mean, I don't have to mince words. There's a whole story about the tejas of Surya. And Kristen, for me, I mean, I'm running my Ashtama Shani. Sandra, you are in your Rahu period, I know that. And I don't know anything about your chart, Helena, so I can't say. But, Surya or Sun is the father of Shani. He's the father of Saturn. And here we go. Oops. So here we go. So he's the father of Shani. So if anybody is running, getting some legal problems or some health issues or whatever, Surya is more powerful than Shani. So doing Surya Namaskar. Yes, now you know why Surya Namaskar is so important, because he's the dad. And that's why when you have a prominent Saturn in your Kundali, then Sun and Saturn don't get along. Anyway, Saturn is not bad. It just gives you a result of our dharma and karma. But anyway, so according to some descriptions, Surya has a third eye. He has 4 arms. He holds lotus flowers in one of his hands, and some say 2 of his hands. And then in one hand, he is holding the reins. Now, we all know who Hanuman is, right? Hanuman is an aspect of Shiva, right? Shankara. Shankara was decided to take birth as a devotee of Sri Ram because he kind of wanted to do his thing. So when Hanuman was a little baby, he started going towards the sun god, and sun god accepted Hanuman as his disciple, and he sat in sun god. And then Indra, who's like Zeus, got really, really jealous, and he threw his thunderbolt at Hanuman and broke Hanuman's jaw. And Hanuman was called Maruti before this. And in Sanskrit, Hanuman means one whose jaw is broken. So very interesting. So Surya is the guru or spiritual master of Hanuman when Hanuman was a baby. And then all the devas appeared and gave Hanuman a lot of beautiful, beautiful blessings. So aim and objective of this whole discussion is that when we talk about sun salutations, really sun can take away our miseries, our disease, can bestow happiness, can take away the ill effects of Shani, if we just do it with intention, not just the asana, just stand there in sun and close your hands and stand there in Tadasana, the mountain pose, and nothing, and just, the intention, take his energy, and it's fantastic. He's going to be so pleased. When I was 17 years old, I used to go up on the in our house, and I used to offer water, and I used to ask for a very nice husband. My mother's saying, "Why are you worried about husband? You're 17." So I used to ask for a very nice husband from Surya. Usually people will ask from Shiva. Yes. But, he gave me a lot more than that. I wanted I wanted a devotee of Narayan. I did not want to be with somebody who didn't, because in India, growing up in India, I saw a lot of girls had arranged marriages and so on. So I was very scared of that. So really, really wanted to have a spiritual husband. So he will actually give all desires. And specifically from a perspective of Jyotish, it is quite powerful to worship Surya. Surya is the most important planet among the 12 planets in Jyotish. So in Jyotish, moon and sun, moon, and Rahu, Ketu are also considered planets. So this is very important. This is something I used to do that I stopped doing for many, many years. And I recently started again, thanks to you guys, because as I was preparing for this presentation, I actually started going in the afternoon and offering this to Surya. And sometimes I didn't want to wake up babies, so I would just take my iPhone and find a YouTube video on Surya Mantra and just play it and pray to Surya. And even often doing my sun salutations, very modified sun salutation to this mantra. So I would like to say it. So when you always start with the sankalpa. Sankalpa means I'm making a niyam. So people make a niyam. In India, I don't know why it is. Maybe Rose can answer. Maybe Leah, you can answer. People usually make a niyam of doing about 9 sun salutations. I don't know why it is in the number 9. You can have any number, 3, 6, 9. It has to go in. It cannot be an even number. It must be an odd number. Yeah. So in India, they would just take a niyam that I'm going to do 9 sun salutations a day, or it doesn't have to be. But it's once you've taken it, like I will do it for 3 days, or I will do it for 7 days, or I will do it for 40 days. And then you pray to sun to make it work so you never, and if you miss it one day, the next day you actually have to do 18, because it's kind of like doing, what is the word for it? When you, what is the English word for it? Like fasting. You're fasting from, I'm going to remember the English word for it. I've got Sanskrit in my head right now. So you start off by, let's say, right now I have made a sankalpa. I made it yesterday, actually. No, not yesterday. I made it on 22nd. Was it? 22nd was Purnima. Was a full moon, and I made a sankalpa of doing some Surya Puja for a certain number of days. And I don't want anything for it. I just want to thank Surya and, offer him my, honor him basically. So I made that, and then I did it on 22nd, 23rd, and today I've not been able to do it. And after the class, even though it's evening, I'll have to do it in the evening. Ideally, it has to be in the morning. So the mantra goes like this. So you can you can do 1 sun salutation a day. You don't even have to do a salutation. You can just offer mantras. You don't even have to offer mantras. You can just think about Surya and ask him to bless you before you start your yoga practice, or just include that in your altar or whatever. It can be any day. It depends. It can be as long as it's an odd number. It can't be an even number. It can be 3 days, 5 days, 3, 5, 7, 9, 13, like that. Yeah. It just is as long as it's an odd number. So I kind of did it for like 7 days. But, once I get started on these things, I don't stop. If it happens, it just goes on for years and years and years. Like once I took a niyama for doing 108, 16 rounds of mantras, 16 rounds into 108 times. And I was supposed to do it for 40 days. I did it for 6 years, because once you start doing it, it becomes part of you. And sometimes you do it, even 7 days seem long. So it depends on, just start small, but stick to it. Start with 3 days, but stick to it. And then do another sankalpa, this time for 5 days, and then stick to it. Does that make sense, Sandra? I mean, totally depends on your willpower and what's happening. I mean, if kids are taking the standardized testing in your school, that's not the time to start a sankalpa niyama. But you have the Easter holidays come in, right? The 1 week off. That's a great time to do like 5 days. For me, I can't do it because the kids are at home, so it's a terrible time. For you, it's an amazing time. So that's a good time for you. Another time, yes, okay. So let me do this very quickly before I hand over to Rose. Om Deha Sada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarati Narayana Sarasija Sanna Sannivishtaha Keyurvana Makara Kundalavana Kiritihari Hiranme Vapura Dhritta Shankha Chakraha Om Suryaya Namaha. Oh, my deity Surya, I am offering all these people who have come here at your lotus feet. Please take away all our inauspiciousness, bad karma, and fill all of us with auspiciousness. And Sarva Vyadhi Hara, please take away all our health issues too. I surrender. And then there's another one. Surya is supposed to have a lot of benefits. That's it. That's the part I hand you over to Rose. Any questions before we move?